There's one simple phrase that can instantly shift how hiring managers see you, and most candidates never say it. Today, I'll show you exactly what it is and when to use it and why it works. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Thomas Schmidt, a former senior technology executive, COO, CMO, and today I help companies sharpen how they manage tech, streamline operations, and build smarter strategies. But I also help professionals like you rethink what's possible in your career. And if you're job hunting or interviewing, you're going to want to stick around for this one, because we're going to break down the phrase that lands a job. Let's get into it. Why interviews feel like a game you can't win. Let's be honest, interviews can feel like you're performing in a play with no script. You prepare your answers, of course, you dress the part, you nod, you smile, but something still feels off. You're not sure if they're buying what you're selling. And too often candidates walk away thinking, I think it went well, only to get ghosted or rejected days later. So what went wrong? Well, here's the truth. Most candidates focus on sounding qualified, but the ones who get hired focus on being memorable. This is where the magic phrase comes in. The mistake most candidates make. When you're in an interview, it's natural to think your job is to impress the interviewer. But here's the thing. Impressing someone doesn't land jobs. Connecting with someone does. What hiring managers are really trying to figure out is this. Do I trust you? Will you make my life easier? Are you going to make me look smart for hiring you? Most people spend the whole interview answering questions passively. They wait to be picked. But standout candidates do something different. They flip the script. The phrase that changes everything. Okay, so what's the phrase? It's this. If I were in your shoes, here's how I approach that. It's subtle, but powerful. Let's unpack it. Why this phrase works. This phrase does three things instantly. It shifts your role from interviewee to partner. You're no longer selling your resume. You're helping solve a problem. It shows confidence and initiative. You're not just waiting to be told what to do. You're thinking ahead. It changes the energy. You move from here's what I've done to here's how I think. And that's what hiring managers really care about. Real examples in action. Okay, let's say you're interviewing for a marketing role and the hiring manager says, we've been struggling to reach Gen Z on social. You could say something like, that's a common challenge. I've worked on a campaign like that before. Okay, fine, but forgettable, right? Or you could say, if I were in your shoes, I'd start by looking at where they're already spending time, probably TikTok or short form YouTube, and find ways to partner with creators who already have trust with that audience. That way, you're not shouting into the void and we're being introduced by someone they already listened to. Boom. Now you're solving the problem. You've just positioned yourself as someone who already sees themselves in that role. So when do you use it? Well, use this phrase when they describe a challenge they're facing. They ask, what would you do in this role? You want to show your thinking without sounding like a know-it-all. You're not saying, here's how you should run your business. You're saying, if I were in your shoes, it's collaborative and not cocky. And that nuance matters. What happens psychologically? Well, here's the psychological shift that happens when you say it. You go from being evaluated to imagined in the role. Suddenly, the hiring manager isn't thinking, is this person qualified? They're thinking, this is exactly how I want my new hire to think. It triggers what's called cognitive ease, the sense that something just fits. And in a competitive job market, fit beats flashy every single time. So what to say next? You don't just want to drop the phrase and stop. You want to build on it. And here's a simple framework. Start with empathy. Well, if I were in your shoes, add a strategic lens. I'd start by identifying or show action. Then I'd test a few quick wins before scaling. You've now shown strategic thinking, practical action, collaboration, and empathy. That's rare, and that's memorable. Other magic phrases that work. Let me give you a couple bonus phrases that also shift perception. 1. Here's how I think about solving that. This shows that you're not jumping to answers. You're thinking in a framework. 2. That reminds me of a time when. Well, this invites storytelling, and stories are stickier than resumes. 3. Would it be helpful if I shared an example? This is an elegant way to steer the conversation towards your strengths. And again, it's not about being clever. It's about creating a connection. How to practice this? Okay, this is if you want to make this second nature, and here's what to do. Take a few job postings you're interested in, find one core responsibility in each, and ask yourself, if I were in their shoes, how would I tackle this? Say your answer out loud, record it, and refine it. This kind of prep makes you bulletproof in interviews because you're not memorizing answers, you're developing your thinking. Stop trying to be picked. The biggest shift you can make in your job search is this. Stop trying to be picked. Start trying to be useful. Hiring isn't about who looks best on paper. It's about who makes the team better. And that one phrase, if I were in your shoes, signals that you're already thinking like someone's on the inside. That's what makes the difference. If this helped you, please do me a favor. Hit that like button, share it with someone who's prepping for an interview, and subscribe for more weekly insights on how to grow, evolve, and show up as your best self. All right, until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep showing the world that your best work is still ahead of you. And I'll see you in the next one.